Good morning, happy Sunday. Welcome back to another episode of Two Bros, Two Perspective Podcast. I'm JJ.
What's up, everybody? You know who I be.
Steven, what's up? How was your week this week?
Same old shit. I don't want to beat a dead horse on how work is, but work is work. Other than that,
calm
man.
down, but now that school started?
I thought it was, man, but this week was kind of stressful. But either way, like I said, we had that one more school, should have passed. Freaking fire marshal comes in with a chip on her shoulder and shuts it down, man.
So the kids couldn't go to school or they hadn't started yet?
Well, the thing about it is we did what she asked us to do, but the fire marshal has the ultimate power. She added some shit that wasn't on the prints. Mm-hmm. And she said, yeah, school ain't starting.
Ooh.
It's the day before school, and I'm like, really? You're really not going to open the school because of this minor shit? And she said, yeah. But there's always somebody to go over their head, and the big chief for the city said, open that motherfucker.
What city was that?
Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Said, open it up. The kids, they got to go to school. So
imagine that being on the news and shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she got a chip on her shoulder, man. I noticed I ain't going to talk too much. You never know that they run across this. But, there's a little bit, some that are more difficult than others.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a few that I personally call to come do my inspections, but sometimes you get the customer calling it in. They don't know, and they just get whoever.
Yeah.
But they opened up. We had to have, well, not us, but the contractor had somebody on site sitting there doing fire watch, whatever. So everybody opened up. A little stressful. Work is always stressful. But other than that, it was all right week.
Back to school, huh? So Stevie went back to school this week?
Yeah, he went back to school this week. Nothing major. How was school? Boring. Yeah. That's about it. You know what I mean? He's just ready to get the baseball stuff going. You mean
you don't get the 8th grade drama like I get every day?
8th grade drama?
Yeah, man. Not really drama, but just, it's funny because last year, I think, and the year before, Bail getting the truck or the car or whatever. And how was school? It was good. Kind of like you said with Stevie.
Yeah.
Now, man, we get,
Get the tea.
Yeah, because not really, hasn't done that, but it's more sports stuff.
Okay.
I had to do this, and my knee's hurting, and my shoulder, so I just let her vent it all out,
Yeah.
I take it, and she's tryouts for volleyball this week, so she's going to school at 6 a.m, and on Tuesdays and Wednesdays is cheer practice, so she's gonna be going to school at 6 till like 5:30.
Okay.
So it's like 11 and a half hours at school.
Yeah, that school that I've been working on that didn't open, it's right up the street from there. So I passed by there quite a bit this week and hit the traffic a couple times. Yeah. Seen some people practicing out. I don't know what it was. Looked like band, maybe cheer. I don't know. They practiced right there by the freeway in that grass by the gate. I guess when you can get on 35 South, and then there's the bridge right in there in that little corner right there. You know what I'm talking about?
That's the other side, because there's a school on both sides.
Okay, not the football side.
Yeah, they have the football field.
On the other side, right? Okay.
Behind the football field?
What's that street right there?
Ann Arbor?
Yes, Ann Arbor and 35 right there. That little corner of the school that's fenced in.
Yeah.
There's a little grass area, and I saw some practice.
Yeah, there might be band. I know right now soccer's been, when I go pick her up, you see the soccer players.
Okay.
But football starting, and she was like, football and volleyball are same season.
Yeah.
And she's a cheerleader.
Oh, shit.
So
what's she going to do?
It was funny because she's like, the coach told me I can go cheer for the 8th grade football team and then go to the volleyball game.
Okay.
Cut it short. I said, well, stay for halftime and then go run to the gym. It's only for like home games though, right? And she's like, but that's a lot. I said, you wanted to do everything, like just
either that or pick one.
Yeah. So I said, fuck it, we'll go to the game with you, and then I'll run with you from the field to the gym.
Oh, because it's right there.
Yeah,
right there. Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
We'll see. It might be a crazy sports season, but it's all good.
Might be. I mean,
keep her busy though.
When Isaiah was at Sunset, you'd have some football players run off the field and go with the band. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but that's a little different running from football to the volleyball.
Yeah.
So, well, that's good, man. Keep it busy. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Keep her busy.
Like I always say, time is when the devil likes to play. You know what I mean? You got too much time on your hands. That's when you get bored and you go out and do shit you ain't supposed to be doing. So, Stevie, I guess they're at the age where they don't want us to know what's going down. You know what I mean? They don't want us to know, I try talking to him, man, and sometimes, it depends what kind of mood he's in. He might open up, but I know he don't like talking about girls and all that stuff. But when they're at baseball practice, his outside select team is pretty much his high school team. It's like 8 of them. So you always hear him chit-chatting about girls and, hey, now I'm dating his girlfriend type shit, or you know what I mean? So yeah, he kind of doesn't share too much, but he's ready for baseball, you know what I mean? And, he's 16, hormones probably kicking like crazy. They're all into girls, so he don't share that too much with me.
I think we said this before. I think the boys never were like girl crazy. I'm sure there was there, right? But and I felt like they were pretty open with us, but they don't share everything. We know that for sure.
But they feel comfortable enough to share more than we did, for sure. So
they were not, especially 16, not really girl crazy or trying to do anything. Like I said, they were trying to figure out what they were trying to do. Like Chris with sports, and Tony with his thing, and Nick's just that type that, he's that's not what interests him, I guess. And
with Stevie too, for me, I felt like it was kind of not late, because you're never too late, but I noticed all the other kids had girlfriends and all that, and Stevie never really like when I said, oh, that was his first date. It's not like he just, I don't know, not that he just got into girls, you know what I mean? But he never was the type, hey, Dad, can I go over here? Can somebody come over? So, I was like, okay, he was always, I don't know what he was interested in, you know what I mean? I mean, he's like Myra, I've mentioned before, he's kind of quiet, you know what I mean? Sticks by himself, but, girl crazy. I see, like I said, some players that we've played with, they've got a girl every week over there, or the same girl, and like, they've been with her for 3 years since 6th grade. I'm like, what the hell?
Fuck that.
You know what I mean? So, like one thing Leslie brought up, I always bring her up. She, like a sister, we bounce shit off each other. And, Ian is a good looking kid. Her kid, he's got the curly eyes. He's mixed white and brown, Mexican, so he's a good looking kid. I call him Fabio. But, they would always, she said, people would always be like, oh, he's so handsome. Do you have a girlfriend yet? Do you have a girl? She was like, why? You know what I mean? Oh, you don't have a girlfriend yet? Like, why? Why does he need a girlfriend?
We were the same way. And it's funny because, people would come over when we used to have parties or get-togethers or, go here or there. And same thing. You got a girlfriend? I'm like, why would you ask him you got a girlfriend? Ask him about how school.
That's what she said. That's what she was saying. Like, he's 14, he's 15. Why is that the question you ask him? How about, hey, like you said, how's school, Are you going to church? You know what I mean? And so, there was no rush for me as far as the kids. I was never like, you got a girlfriend now? If I see him with a girl at school, I'll tease him, man, what was that, bro? You know what I mean?
Kind of stuff, but not trying to, like, when you're gonna get a girlfriend or something.
Let it come naturally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because Tony got this job now, and one of the first, my mother-in-law was like, "Oh, maybe he'll find a girl now." Like, the fuck, you just let him make money and do his thing. Why would that be the first thing to come up?
Same with like Isaiah, and sometimes I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I'm like, man, when's he gonna meet a nice little girl? But then I'll look at him, I'm like, well, he's not missing it in his life. He's happy. He's content. It'll, love comes when love comes. There's some people like, for example, for me, I had a lot of girlfriends growing up, a lot of side chicks too, whatever you call them, that just girlfriends dating and shit. And, other people don't, that's just the way it is. Some people, they marry their first love or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I look at Isaiah and I'm like, he's having fun, you know what I'm saying? He's got hangs out with his, same like you said about Chris, he's got some friends and, they don't seem concerned about, oh, I got to bring my girlfriend and I'm going out. So he's 21, 22, just having fun. Nene, Joshy on the other hand, he's got a girl. They live together. And Nene, he got the baby mama and the baby. And everybody's just different. Stevie's just, he went on that date. He said it went good, but he hadn't said, "Hey, Dad, can I go out with her again?" It just goes at his own pace. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I think my first serious girlfriend was like fucking 7th grade and shit. You know what I mean? I guess you say serious, but she was coming over the house and meeting mom and dad, and then so.
But they were kind of like that too. I remember, like, in a way, kind of like, do you have a girlfriend now? Or I remember growing up, I would hear that a lot too. At get-togethers or family things and shit like that. And maybe that's just their generation or what they think. But I was cousins too, I guess. Back then with my boys growing up. Hey, you got a girlfriend? Like, it was cool. Like, just ask them how school is, right?
That's it. That's it. Don't rush it. It's gonna come. So, let it happen organically. Don't make them think, oh, you gotta. Because these days, a lot of these kids think they have to be doing something to fit in or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I admired about Isaiah was he never gave a fuck about fitting in. You know what I mean? And so everybody's different, man. Like I said, I remember you in high school. You always had a girlfriend.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You was always whooped and shit. You know what I mean? You was always, but it kept you out of trouble, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did. I think what happened with me was, like, we grew up in that time, me in the early 90s in high school, whatever, and you after that, there was a lot going on, and I think what kept me out of trouble was I was scared of dad, of that part, where, like, I knew I couldn't come home or have those kind of friends because he knew, right? But which I did have those friends, but I think they respected that in the sense that they didn't come around, or try to push me into doing something that they knew I would get in trouble for, right? For whatever reason. And the kind of girls that I liked didn't like those kind of guys.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's partly what helped keep me out of trouble.
It's funny you talk about that. It makes me think, a lot of people, we grew up, our parents were strict.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some of our friends knew our parents, some didn't, but it seemed like everybody knew, like, when we say, hey, I got to get home, my dad's calling, like, they already knew what's up. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, we had to be in early, couldn't be on the phone past 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Shit was just strict, and, I'm sure, well, not sure, I know that you growing up and me growing up, and our parents' experience was a lot different.
Yeah, it was.
Because like you said, you a lot of shit you didn't do was because you were afraid of dad, and me, I grew out of that shit. I was like, man, fuck that. I ain't scared of him. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of rebellion, a lot of fighting.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, I think part of it was maybe the age, I guess not the age group that, well, maybe, I don't want to say generation, but the time I grew up versus the time you grew up. When I was growing up, it was just starting, right? Yeah. It was there, but I think it was getting bigger in the early 90s. So everything was just starting, especially in that neighborhood, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I said, they knew dad when they were youngsters, and he didn't put up with no shit, right?
Yeah.
People just didn't come to our house.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And they knew that. And they knew how strict dad was. And then those same guys that I grew up with in elementary or whatever started doing shit that, started whatever was going on during that time. So they already knew the house. They already knew they couldn't come over a certain time. They already knew.
Because we all grew up in the same neighborhood, and not to say anything because, maybe our parents, maybe we were one of the rare that had both parents in the house.
That's part of it.
Part of the rare that our parents did give a fuck, because I had friends at that young age that could be out all fucking night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They were like, they didn't have to come home.
Yeah, exactly. So, that had something to do with it too, I guess. And like I said, once I was going, around 7th, 8th grade is when I got into all that shit I was getting into. And, I was big on respect. I was always big on respect. And one thing Dad would always say is, I think the parents don't need to respect the kids, but the kids need to respect the parents. And that's where we bumped heads a lot. You know what I mean? I was like, man,
I think that's partly why we bump heads now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, they have the same mindset, and I've always been big on that. And then they'd be like, well, if you're not home by 10 o'clock, we're going to lock the door. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I wasn't planning on coming home tonight anyway. Yeah. Go ahead and lock it to be safe. You know what I mean? So, I remember I had this one friend, they liked Thomas, Thomas Sheffield.
Yeah.
The neighborhood plumber.
Yeah.
Serving Olive Oak Cliff. Shout out Sheffield Plumbing for all your fucking clogged toilets. Call my boy Thomas.
Yeah, he's come through for me a couple of times.
Yeah, cool cat. I see him all the time. And but they really liked him. And of course, like you just said, that's when the shit was all starting. But the gang I was affiliated with started on our block.
Yeah.
Right across the street, and they knew them, but they knew what they were about. So anyways, they would drop me off at Thomas's house, and then my boys right there across the street would pick me up, and I'd be kicking it right across the street on the porch. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, because we parked all the way in the back of the house, and they'd be like, hey, your parents are leaving. And I'd fucking put my head down or something, and they'd fucking leave and come back. And then 7, 8 in the morning, I would walk across the street, walk home, and be like, yeah, they just dropped me off. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that shit was funny. But yeah, they were strict, but there came a point where I was like, man, I'm going to do my thing regardless. I spent a lot of time I think most of my high school living at grandma's house, you know what I mean? And then, so I didn't stay there much after I started rebelling. I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
I think my rebellion was skipping school.
Yeah, you skipped quite a bit.
So I did all the dumb shit during the daytime and not the nighttime.
Yeah.
Because I worked.
Yeah.
And I like thinking back, this is weird. I think I was telling Cynthia one time. Like my high school years, I don't remember nothing at home.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if it's on purpose or because I was hardly ever home because I was school and work. And it's weird, right? My high school years, I don't have any memories of like being at home.
And that's crazy you say that because I'm the same way, if you know us, if you don't know, we got a little brother. And, sometimes I tell Mara like, damn, I don't remember growing up in the house with Jeremy. Because I was always out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was always on the streets, but I played baseball a lot too, in those times. So I was always, I remember, speaking of that with the Little League World Series, I played ball a lot. I love ball. I was good at it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I just remember being picked up by the coaches or being picked up by another parent. Uh-huh. So I don't know why mom and dad weren't there. I mean, it was the weekends. I don't remember if
I think they went to my games a lot. I want to say they were there during my games. But who knows after that,
Yeah, because I remember Coach Hill living down the street used to pick me up. And then there was another kid, I think his name was Jason. His mom had a little S10 and she'd pick us all up and we'd jump in the back and shit like that. And so I don't know. I don't remember them being at a lot of games. I just remember going with the coaches. I remember they did an all-star team, speaking of Little League World Series, that same league. We played out of Keys every year. Everybody get together at sunset and they'd pick an all-star team to join the Little League to try to make it. And of course, your boy always got picked. Well, you only can do it 2 years. Starting catcher, Oak Cliff All-Star, the Dallas DPD supported us, badass fucking jerseys, hats. And I remember we went with the coach, you know what I mean? And it was pretty badass. We were like 1 win, maybe I think 2 wins away from actually getting on the road to Williamsport and shit. We're pretty badass. Mm-hmm. And I remember I got kicked out of the hotel. I don't know why, we were stupid, and I fucking sprayed mustard all over a bunch of cars and shit. And I got kicked out. They were going to send me home, and they were like, nah, we need this motherfucker. So one of the coaches rented another hotel, and I had to stay with him. But good times, man. I was watching Little League World Series. Texas got knocked out yesterday.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But I look at that, and even Stevie was like, man, those kids suck. Yeah, we beat them. You know what I mean? They're 12 years old. It's a lot different. The rules that they play are a lot different than the rules in select baseball. Mm-hmm. But you hear Major League Baseball players talking about, that's the way you should do it. Select ball, you burn them out, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, that's...
I heard both when I was watching it at lunch at work, there was another guy in there. We were talking about it, and I heard both sides. You know,
Yeah.
he was talking about the rule difference because his son's in select right now too, 14, I think. Um, but yeah, the different rules. But he was saying part of it is to save their arms and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For
Well,
select, it's like you can get any coach you want and do whatever you want pretty much, as long as you're there on the
yeah.
weekend.
Well, if you get with the right team, like Stevie's coach, and all these leagues we play, they're different leagues. Well, I wouldn't say leagues. I don't know what you call them, but whoever throws the tournament, they've all got pitching rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can, if you pitch this many on Friday, you can't pitch till Sunday.
Yeah.
Or if you pitch this many, you can't pitch at all. You know what I mean? So it is all about arm care. That Little League World Series league, they don't get leadoffs. They can't steal unless the ball crosses the plate. So they say they're being taught the right way, but we're like, y'all not even playing the real rules. It's back and forth. But I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
I enjoy watching the girls softball too. There's girls that can play ball.
Yeah, I think girls softball has become bigger lately.
Yeah.
It's been more on TV more for whatever reason, and it's entertaining. It's really good.
Yeah. So, but anyways, back to that other shit. Like I said, I was just big on respect, man, and I don't know if it maybe it did help us, maybe it didn't. I remember, I just try not to be that way with my kids. You got to trust them. You know what I mean? Can't be. It's a new day and era. Who goes out with their friends and is home by 10 o'clock? You know what I mean? Hell, they don't go to the movies till 7 or 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So times are different.
And now there are cell phones and that Life 360 tracking, so you know where they are. And,
yeah.
They're a phone call away if anything. Not like back then where there was no cell phones, no tracking, no nothing.
But these days it's a different type of anxiousness, worriness. These days you don't know if something's gonna get shot up or some crazy kid, not gang wise. I'm just talking about there's a lot of shootings. I think there was some like at Home Depot or Walmart the other day. Some guy shot a man, a wife, and a kid. So it's just the world's crazy. You just never know. But you got to let your kids out there and trust them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you just can't live thinking that way. I think I've told them before when they go somewhere, just be careful what's around. Watch what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Right? Especially like at the mall or something like that. Just kind of be aware of if something doesn't feel right, just kind of look around, and maybe they don't know, they don't have that sense. I guess you call it street smart, I guess, because it's different now. Right?
Yeah.
Versus back when we were growing up, you kind of had that street smart with you.
Yeah.
Like when you sense something's not right, even today, like when we go to the mall or something or somewhere, you kind of feel like I don't know, a different sense of like, this, it's a lot of tension in this motherfucker, right? Like just chill.
And it doesn't help that I be wearing my Trump shirt. You know what I'm saying? So I feel the tension. I feel it. Speaking of going to the mall, man, yesterday we finished up some school shopping with Stevie. Went to the outlets out in Grand Prairie, and I hear Myra and Stevie whispering like, "We're going to the outside one."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to the fucking outside." I jump in, what's the problem? What y'all think? We're going to the fucking real mall? Fuck that, And all this hot, all this walking and shit. I said, no, every store we're going, fucking AC. So we went and got some shopping, went to the Nike store. He's transforming into a mid-low boy. He never wears shorts, ever. Always pants, joggers. And so all we bought yesterday was like shorts. And it was weird because I said, hey, you know what? I'll buy me some shorts too. And everything Nike sells now, it says standard above the knee. I'm like, above the knee? What the fuck?
Because they're workout shorts, I guess.
No, it's just everything is above the knee, whether it's your workout, your basketball. Everything is just
basketball shorts.
Everything. Well, there ain't no such thing no more. But
you're right. I think I tried to find some and I couldn't.
Yeah, they're all above the knee, everyone. And the lady's like, "Do you find everything okay?" I'm like, "No, man. Y'all got anything below the knee?" You know what I'm saying? She goes, "I know it's annoying. I was shopping for my kids or something like that." But it's weird. He bought some colors that I didn't think he'd want. He getting into his own stilo. You know what I mean? And it's pretty cool. Went there. He wanted to go to True Religion, American Eagle. Can't remember where else, but we got everything but pants, man. It's fucking. And I'm trying to stay calm, and Myers like, how about this? And he's getting annoyed. I'm like, leave him the fuck alone. Let him shop. He don't need mommy to pick out his clothes. Let him fucking shop. And but it was annoying because his pants, he's like, I want some rips in it, but I don't want that many rips. And then we find some with rips, and well, I don't want it there. I want it. I'm like, and I'm trying to be cool. I'm like, okay, mijo, whatever you want. And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, I'm getting real fucking annoyed. What the fuck does he want? And we end up leaving no pants. He's like, oh, we'll just order them online. But I hate ordering him stuff online because he won't wear it.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't know. As far as pants, I don't know what the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Because he's got brand new pants that we bought him and he don't wear them. And it's like, whatever, dude. You know what I mean? And then last night, Meyer texted me, hey, he wants some shoes. And I'm like, okay. I said, this ain't fucking shopping spree for the whole year. You know, he needs to, we don't spend a lot of money. He needs to decide what the fuck else he wants. And we're cutting that shit off. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. He's the last one. You know, me, I don't like to shop online unless I absolutely know like slides or something. But when it comes to clothes, I got to go to, especially with.
Sometimes you do, yeah.
With a picky kid. You know what I mean? Because you can order, but I hate it because Mara will order shit. And then she, oh, it doesn't fit or this, that. We got to send it. We got to order it. So she'll order the shit that fits, but she never returns the other shit.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm like, let's just go to the fucking store, pick out it, we try it on, look at it, and we're good to go. So we went over there. It was pretty cool. Now, let me ask you this. So we start on one side, True Religion's on the other side, and Myers like, well, let's go move the car to that side. I'm like, no, we'll fucking walk.
We don't do all that.
We're going to walk.
Yeah.
And she's, you know, we started arguing, and she's, you know, I think she's been institutionalized in the house so long, you know. It's like she don't want to be around. I'm like, I thought you want to be around. She's like, what am I even doing here? Because we're arguing. I'm like, because we're here as a family. What do you mean? What are you doing here? I don't want to walk. So we walk over there, and I'm like, no, we're fucking walking. You know, it's not like we hardly go to that one. We always go to the one in Allen. Now I don't know if you've been to that one, but walking across, yeah, you're gonna move because that motherfucker's like a mile walk.
I think we just do the big circle and then end up back at the car.
Yeah, and that's what we did. And then I wanted to hit the food trucks. They got food trucks there. Have you been there?
In Grand Prairie.
Yeah, man, everything smelled good, but they didn't want to eat outside. So we went that Tacos y Mas right there. It's right there next to it pretty much. And
yeah, I think I see it. Used to be a cheesesteak place.
Fucking hands still smell like onions and cilantro and shit. I hate when that happens. But it was all right, man. That food wasn't that good, but you know, we finished up the back to school shopping, and I was talking to the lady there, and I was telling her, I was like, yeah, you know, he's the last one, and he's the lucky one, I guess, because he gets whatever the fuck he wants. You know what I mean? Just like last night, I'm telling Mara, more shoes, this, that, and then she's like, so yes or no? I'm like, well, of course. Get him for her, you know, but tell them to chill the fuck out. You know what I mean?
See, the boys never been, like you say, True Religion and all that. With one, they always had uniforms, right? So that was easy. But outside of that, it was pretty much Ross and Marshalls.
Yeah,
right?
But you found some good shit there.
Yeah, and I think Chris wanted American Eagle one time, and he didn't end up liking the fit, so we never went back.
Yeah.
So Chris was either uniforms or Cynthia find him something at Ross or Marshalls. And Tony really didn't give a shit what he wore, right?
Yeah.
You know, he didn't care. So same thing, Nick. Until now, you know, where he makes his own money, where he doesn't have a job now, but when he was making his own money, he would go buy his own shit.
Yeah.
But for us, it was pretty much that. And they didn't really care about shoes. They just wanted some comfortable shoes, unless it was for sports. You know, and Bea's there where but good thing is uniform. But same thing with her pants, even uniform pants. Well, they're too scrunchy on the bottom. They're too tight. They're too loose. You know? And it was getting frustrated too.
Yeah.
But I was like, these are uniform pants. Like, come on, just pick the size or the style you want and let's go.
Should be that easy.
So yeah, but
they Isaiah didn't ever give a fuck about that shit. Josh and Nanny, you know, they did. Stevie the same way, but I mean, nothing fancy like, you know, Nike, but Nike's expensive. You know what I mean? And Stevie's into jackets. I was into that too, so I can see it, jackets and hats. So he likes the Nike windbreakers, the old style ones, and those are expensive.
Yeah.
And then we went to Polo. He wanted a Polo jacket, And it was cool because I always wanted those same style jackets, but we could never afford them.
Yeah, those are nice ones.
So it was cool. I was like, God damn, man, what do you even need shirts for? You got like 10 jackets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they like shoes, but with her, we had to buy freaking volleyball shoes last year. Volleyball shoes, cheer shoes, soccer shoes,
Damn.
then her regular shoes. Yeah, so
shit, just get some all terrain.
yeah, yesterday she was showing me because tomorrow's volleyball tryouts. So she did take her volleyball shoes, her regular shoes, and then her cheer shoes tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 2 backpacks she got to take tomorrow.
Was it, I might be mistaken, but didn't you say for a minute she was saying she wanted to go to Duncanville?
She keeps saying that, but we're not going to say
No, I was looking up, something came up about high school football, and Duncanville is like ranked number 1 going into next season. That made me think about that.
Yeah.
So, but the back to school, we didn't go last week, tax free and all that shit. I'm like, man, I'll just pay the fucking taxes. And even the lady there, she's like, it's a ripoff. They go up on the prices to make up for it.
Plus, you had to spend a certain amount TV theater, right?
So I'm like, I don't want to deal with crowds.
Yeah.
So we went out there for a couple hours, got them and shit. Went to the house, fucking cut the bushes. I hate cutting the bushes. Got to get on the ladder, get to the top, and So other than that, man, we didn't do nothing. Friday we went out. Me and Myra, she had a long week. I had a long week. When I had a couple drinks, and where did we go? She wanted to go to that old, used to be Joe's Crab Shack over here, but now it's right there in Cedar Hill.
Krabby something?
Yeah, and then we were on our way over there, and she looked it up, said they have a DJ.
They have bad reviews too, I think.
And that's what she started looking at. She said the music's all loud, blah, blah, blah.
I hate places like that.
And then she goes, I ain't trying to hear that. So where did we go? Oh, we ended up going to Saltgrass. And I had a few drinks, and she got, man, the drinks were expensive. So she likes Crown and Coke, and she got a double.
There's a frozen one there, or she gets the regular one?
Not regular.
Okay.
And man, it was $11.50 for the drink, and then $11.50 for the extra shot. She's like,
$11.50. Also, it was a double.
Yeah, it was a double. Okay. She was like, "Why is it $11.50? It's only one drink." Like, what do you think? They're charging for the Coke. They're charging for the shot, not the drinks, Coke. Yeah. So she's weird, man. She likes to taste that strong liquor, like, you know what I mean. I'm gonna start telling her to drink the shit straight. You know what I mean? But
it's on the rocks. But she probably likes a little
spritz.
Yeah.
Me, I like to taste the Coke more than the liquor. Oh, okay, she likes to taste. I don't like to be like, all that shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was pretty cool. We had a good time. Went over there, had dinner, and just unwind a little bit. And then, like I said, yesterday was busy. Today we got this. I'm tired as fuck. Got to go change the oil. Stevie wants to go to the batting cages. A friend of mine. I was talking to him about the podcast. He's like, let's go Sunday. Let's go hit it up. I told him I was going to talk about this. I said, motherfucker, I'm going to talk about your ass. But he was like, what time's the podcast is and that? And he was like, man, y'all need to have guests. But have guests for what, motherfucker? What? That's the way I am. I don't know why sometimes like, guests for what, motherfucker? I don't, doesn't make me mad, but I'm like, everybody want to be a critic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, there's something I thought about.
Me too, but I'm like, guess for what? Give me an idea. What the fuck am I get? He's like, I don't know, like maybe bring Stevie on and be like, hey, you're starting school. What do you think?
The kids don't want to be on.
Well, but I was like, motherfucker, this is a podcast, not a fucking talk show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But some of them turn into that.
Yeah, but I'm like, give me some ideas. But he's like, I'm putting them on. What the fuck? You want me to interview you?
Yeah.
Well, he's like, well, I don't know. I can't think of that. Like, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Exactly. And then he started talking about his car and asking me a bunch of questions. I'm like, fuck, I don't know how much your brakes cost.
Yeah.
And, I said, you know what? I got a new topic I'm going to talk about. Friends that fucking call you with bullshit. You know what I mean? And he started laughing and shit. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I get wound up and I just go on them little rants, But they know how I am, so he just laughs it off. Man. It's all love,
like,
man.
There's a guy that goes store, he listens in. He has a little show. It's not a podcast, but more of a website kind of thing. He critiques movies.
Yeah.
And I have to remember the name of his site. Tony knows it. Maybe he can pop it up. But he wears a wrestling mask, and he critiques movies and stuff. And so we'll stand there like 10 minutes talking about movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, you should do this. But then this fool, he doesn't have a car. And he's like, well, the bus doesn't go to Duncanville. So I'm gonna be all sweaty getting to your garage and this and that. I'm like, well, if you want to come on, and but then we're not a movie podcast, you know what I mean? So it'll be like the way me and him talk about movies and in depth on certain things, it wouldn't fit in.
Yeah,
right? It would have to be a whole different thing. So,
I mean, but what would we bring a guest on for?
Well, a lot of people are giving ideas, but it doesn't match, right? Because of the business and everything, you should bring local businesses on, blah blah. But it doesn't match what we're doing. We don't really have a
because you bring one of them, I'll be sitting here like.
That's what I mean. It won't match, So movies, we get like we were talking about Quentin Tarantino movies and blah blah. And maybe you don't get into depth in those movies.
Yeah, so I say we talk about movies and shit, but I don't talk about the
deep into it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So like we ranked the Quentin Tarantino movies one day, and that's not what we do here, right?
Or it's just like us going on his podcast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It ain't gonna appeal to him.
And like we don't. It's not a talk show interview type of shit, right? We just start going, and I don't know what would fit.
Yeah. Or just bring somebody on and just get to talk. I mean, I don't know. It's not two bros and a friend perspective. You know what I mean?
But then, sometimes we do see the different perspective, but sometimes we don't. So maybe some topics where we can just kind of go back and forth, without, what I mean? Like the kid thing, we do talk about that, and they are different, right? Yeah. Like you talking about true religion, and I don't think we've ever been to true religion before, that kind of shit, or, I'd rather go to the mall than the outside mall, but Nikki would too. But yeah. Speaking of Nikki, it's his birthday this week.
Oh, nice, nice.
18.
I was thinking about Nikki on the way up here, actually, and hopefully he watches so he can hear about it. First, I get to thinking, I didn't want to come this morning. I told you I texted you last night. You never answered. I was like, okay.
I was out after those. I had like 4 or 5 mezcal drinks.
I said, if he don't answer, then fuck good. I don't feel like going, and then you answer. But what motivates me is the haters inside right there that want us to fall. So that's when I said, I can't miss that. I said, because that's going to fuel their fire. So I got to go. But I was thinking of, I don't remember. I was thinking about him the other day I don't remember what we was talking about, but I was thinking about him this morning on the way up here, speaking, he bring up his birthday. And I was like, I remember when he was little, he used to call me Uncle Kevin. He'd be like, hey, Uncle. He had that little voice. Hey, Uncle Kevin. I'd be like, and then I'll be like, Uncle Kevin, the way I am with the boys, I'm like, what's up, boy? And I'm gonna say, Uncle Kevin, why are you so mean to me? He said to her like, boy, you think I'm mean? My name ain't Uncle Kevin, boy. I used to tell him like that. But Nicky always was a little different, I mean, he looked different. He was white complected, and we used to always say, I used to tell, boy, you sure you didn't get switched at the hospital, man? Because hey, Uncle Kevin, boy, my name ain't Kevin. I used to say, Uncle Kevin, why you so mean to me? And I said, boy, my name ain't Uncle Kevin, man. My name's Steven, man. And so shout out, how nephew gonna be? 18?
Yeah, 18. Yeah,
nice.
18 years old.
Salute, happy birthday, nephew, man. Love you.
He wants to go somewhere in Carrollton, some kind of sushi or some shit like that.
Sushi.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that tomorrow.
There you go.
Tomorrow, actually. So, yeah.
Nice.
His birthday's Tuesday, but we have Mondays off, so we'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, Cynthia's Monday off, too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It works out perfect.
Yeah.
Damn, the big 18, and, man. So that's all he's asking for? He's not asking for nothing? And
maybe some concert tickets or something, but we'll see.
Where to? What concert?
I don't even know. He named out 2 people in, I don't know. I think one's a K-pop. And one is like an alternative shit.
Okay, Myra's all into that K-pop shit.
She might know who it is, but I don't know. I don't know who it is exactly.
She went to some K-pop concert not too long ago, her and Stevie. So now it's the big 18, man. Yeah. That's a milestone.
Yeah, and then talking about concerts, do they ever go to concerts? Stevie or Isaiah?
Nah.
Myra don't ever go.
Isaiah goes to a lot of wrestling, like WWE, Monday nights, and all that shit. But I think for Isaiah's last birthday, he wanted tickets to go see Kendrick Lamar. Mm-hmm. And I saw the prices. I was like, look, I'll give you some money on it.
Concerts are crazy.
I got $300 on it. You put the rest, you know what I mean? But it was funny because me and Steve were like, Kendrick Lamar? We need to listen to Kendrick Lamar. So Stevie would like put on a Kendrick Lamar song, and Isaiah knew all the words. And they put on another one, not the ones that just come on the radio. Steve was like, All right, my bad. I guess you do like Kendrick Lamar, but nah, not really. Nah, Stevie's never been or asked to go to a concert. I don't think Nene or Josh
Yeah,
either.
Bea and Nick are into concerts. She got tickets to go see what's that fool? Junior H. They're called Sad Boys. I don't know.
Sad Boys.
I don't listen to them, but a couple YouTube videos that I watched, they're like they're homies and shit like that. So, but I never heard their music.
Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish. Yeah,
So she knows Spanish good, understands it,
she
speaks it.
understands it, but because she doesn't talk it well, she doesn't like talking it. And I always tell them, I say, y'all know more than y'all think.
Yeah,
Because
I mean they grew up at the store with your mother-in-law and them.
and then Bear goes to work on the weekends, and she knows it, right? She'll like when they ask for lottery tickets or whatever, but she's scared to talk it because it's not perfect. So yeah,
Out of all your kids, who talks the most Spanish, or if any?
who talks the most? Probably
Chris?
Bea.
Bea?
Chris don't.
Nah.
Like I said, they all understand.
Yeah.
But I think that, and sometimes at the store, most probably 85% of my clientele store are Hispanic or Mexican or whatever, and it's a store, Mexican store,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we get all the people, and they're like, she doesn't know Spanish. Yeah, she knows Spanish. She knows what you're saying,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, and so she gets some people get a little rude with it, right?
Yeah.
And I have to like, hey, relax, what I
Rude
mean?
about that. She don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's always something like whether you speak Spanish or you like soccer. At first, it was like, hey, what football team go? Especially if there's like a big game or something.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't really watch soccer. What do you mean you don't watch? Where you from? Like, so it gets funny, but kind of rude sometimes.
Yeah. I'm opposite. If I go into a store and they talk to me in Spanish, I ask them, "Do you know English?" And they be like, "Yeah, but do you know Spanish?" I'm like, "Yeah, but talk to me in English."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Funny story is funny. I mean, this was fuck. I don't even know if I had any kids, but I went to Sonic. There used to be a Sonic right there. I don't think it's still there. Over there off of Davis. I think it was catty corner to the Otejanos. I don't know if you remember that. And I went over there and I forgot what I ordered, but I ordered some strawberries on the side. And the lady's like, "Strawberries? What's strawberries?" And I'm like, "What the fuck you mean, what's strawberries?"
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, you mean cherry?" I'm like, "No, I mean fucking strawberry.
Yeah.
I didn't know Spanish. I didn't know fresa. Now I know. But I was like, "How the fuck you don't know what's a strawberry?" I'm like, "No, strawberry. She's like, "Oh, okay." She comes out with a bunch of cherries. I'm like, "I didn't want cherries. I wanted strawberries." So sometimes, and I'm probably get some hate. It's okay. Comments, keep commenting the hate. But I was like, why you put somebody at the fucking speaker that don't know English?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, granted, I probably could have got away with it, but it's like, I don't know. That's just annoying to me. I'm just like, talk to me in English. You know what I mean?
It depends for me. Depends where I'm at, right? Like a store like mine, you expect for the person to talk Spanish, I think, right? Because like
At the cashier.
yeah, at the cashier, and because of the products we sell, and that if you walk in 7-Eleven, then okay, you expect to be talking English, Tom Thumb English. If you go to Supermercado, then you're probably gonna talk Spanish, right? So for me, I think it's the store you walk into, right?
Yeah, I guess so, maybe. I don't know. But it's Sonic. They fucking don't know what a strawberry is, man.
Sonic, but you do go to like Burger King and shit like that, and they do have an accent, whether
the accent I don't mind,
so
but
I don't. For me, I don't like to make it hard on them, like kind of like what they do with Bea at the store, right? I don't want to make it hard. So if I hear they have a Spanish, a rough accent, then I try to talk in Spanish, right?
Well, a lot of thing for me is so you don't get your order don't get misconstrued,
and that's one reason.
You know what I mean? So. I mean, I know Spanish. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd be considered fluent or not. I think I can talk. You know what I mean? I may not get everything right.
Yeah.
But you're gonna know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, if you know English, talk to me in English. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. You know me, I'll be weird about that type of shit. But if they don't know English, then yeah, I'm gonna talk Spanish. You know what I mean? I think I was at Pollo Regio and I forgot what I was saying, and I was saying it in English, I don't remember, but she had to bring somebody over there to make sure she got the order right, and I was like, nah.
See, por Regio, I expect just talk Spanish.
Yeah, but what if the customer don't?
Then somehow you had to, like, she brought somebody to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know, but we in the hood, and mostly Mexicans, Hispanics. So it is what it is. Speaking of that, there's been a lot of stuff going. Well, not speaking of that, but kind of goes off of so. There's been a lot of stuff. Well, we watch different stuff, so our algorithms are probably a lot different. But a lot of stuff about California Mexican rappers and Texas Mexican rappers. Um, you didn't grow up, but you lived in California a while. I lived in California with you a few months, and I could tell there was a big difference in the way we are, the way we talk. They don't like, and I ain't gonna say it. I don't know our viewers, but I don't know what you can say on YouTube or not. But we say the N word over here.
Yeah, you talking about Mexi OT? Yeah, what he said.
No, not just that, just in general.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Even before he said that. In California, they grew up, there's when we grew up, there wasn't a lot of Mexican rappers.
But they were in Cali, though.
No, I'm talking about Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So we listened to the black rap.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. And, I say the N word, but that's how we grew up. The black people weren't offended. Over here in Texas, the blacks see the Mexicans as the same almost. Now, lately, it's been kind of different because of different ice and that ain't our fight type shit. But me growing up, and you see a lot of black people say, man, the Mexicans go through the same shit we go through with the cops and the poverty. And in Texas, most black people don't have a problem with the Mexicans saying that, unless you just.
But you're using it wrong.
Yeah. For me, the word has nothing to do with being black, has nothing to do with slavery and all the fucking roots of the actual word, Mm-hmm. And in California, it's different. They had a lot of Mexican rappers, Lighter Shade of Brown, Lil Raw, all them.
They don't say it.
Huh?
They don't say it.
No, they don't. But so that's how those Mexicans grew up. You know what I'm saying? Saying vato and the fucking lowrider type shit. You know what I mean? And us, we ain't. So they criticize the Mexicans over here, and we look at them like they're funny,
Because I saw it, I never really liked. To be honest, I think we've talked about it, not on the podcast, but I never liked Mexican rap.
Yeah.
Never have I liked it.
Yeah.
I like Cypress Hill, but they're not Mexican rap. And B Real's even said it. He's like, we're hip hop. We're not fucking Mexican rap. Don't put my music in the fucking genre.
Well, like they call it Chicano Rap. Is what
I don't
they
like
call
that
it
either. I just never liked it. They rap about, I was telling Bea this, I don't like happy rap.
Yeah.
Right? It's like happy rap, which Sunday afternoon, it's a jam, right?
Yeah, it's classic.
Jam,
that one, maybe La Raza, Kid Frost, that was a cool
that's
one.
A jam. You can't say it's not,
but not a whole album, or not just because that one connected with just being Mexican.
So I call a lot of Chicano rap happy rap, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it just doesn't relate to how we grew up.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't grow up with the lowrider car. I didn't grow up, in the park.
Raiders jersey,
all that shit. I didn't grow up like that, so I never liked it. And I saw a interview, I think it was Lil Rob or somebody, and he was talking about Be Real, which I'm a big Cypress Hill fan.
Hell
right?
yeah.
And he said, Be Real. He said something because he does say the N word in his music, and they don't claim him as to be a Mexican rapper, right?
Yeah.
And it got back to him, I think, that Vlad TV.
Yeah. I know Vlad.
So it got back to Be Real, and Be Real's like, well, fuck, I don't consider myself a Mexican rapper. And I think that's what the difference is. Hip hop is different than rap, than a genre of rap, like Mexican rap or, Texas, even Texas rap is different than hip hop, right?
Yeah.
If you want to break it down. But I saw what Mexican OT said, and, he has a point, right? I don't listen to his music that much, but I kind of like him. I like watching his videos.
Yeah, he seems like a cool cat.
He seems like a smart guy, but even his raps, the ones that I have heard, they're pretty good, right? And he said, I don't want to misquote him, but he pretty much said, yeah, I say the N-word, and what you going to do about it? But that's how he grew up, I think. the lady who took care of him was black. So he grew up in a black neighborhood half of his life.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I understood, and like you said, Texas is different, right?
Yeah.
And the rapping in Texas, even with I don't know, I don't think Chingo Bling is that border for me where it's happy rap, but at the same time it's Texas, right?
Yeah. So, and the reason you kind of fuck with Mexican OT music is because he was influenced by Texas rappers.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he's got that Texas style. You know what I mean? That's why he's interested you. You know that podcast I listened to, Hater World Blue Devil. He's from over there, and he's like, that's what he goes. Chicano rap goes nowhere. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're locally, they're California. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they go nowhere.
See him at the car show.
Yeah, and he's always talking about Chicano rappers are fucking crybabies, and you know they always talking about, oh, we're being X'd out by these. But you know, like you said, California is different. You know, over there, the blacks and the Mexicans kind of
a little separated.
Yeah, they're not together. You know what I mean? It's just that's the way it is over there. And maybe in our neighborhood too. You know, I don't remember no black people being in our neighborhood.
But here's the thing with let's say Oak Cliff, West Dallas, maybe not East Dallas, Oak Cliff, West Dallas, and South Dallas, right? Us growing up where we grew up, we didn't really see a lot of diverse until junior high.
Yeah, maybe Griner,
and then when you went to high school.
Yeah.
But locally, we grew up on the blocks was mostly Mexican.
Yeah.
Or we thought Mexican until we knew about other Hispanic races, right? But it is so back then was somewhat separated. Like let's say Oak Cliff, or you got the Winnetka side, you got Henderson and all that was primary Hispanic or whatever. Then you got the other side of Oak Cliff where Kimball, Carter, and all those.
Yeah, over there too, out of Illinois and Polk, Barbara Jordan and those schools.
The neighborhoods are a little divided, but they come together at some point, whether it's junior high or high school. I think over there is you got the barrios of Hispanics and then the barrios of blacks or whatever, and at some point they don't intertwine because you got the Mexican high schools, black high schools or whatever, unless some areas are kind of like what I'm describing.
Mix in the district a little bit.
Then you got West Dallas, same thing. You got the West Dallas side where it's all Hispanics, and then you got the West Dallas side that's all black. But at some point they go to the same high schools, right? Yeah. So I think that's what the big difference is.
Yeah,
I'm sure Houston is kind of similar, right?
Yeah.
Where you got the neighborhoods, but then the way it's described is they're more intertwined in Houston, probably.
And like I said, you've always had East Coast, West Coast rap, and then South Texas started blowing up, with the Scrooge shit. They blew up. You call it the Third Coast, and they made a big impact on rap.
Yeah.
The Scrooge shit. You got Paul Wall, Chamillionaire, Mike Jones, DJ Screw. Everybody started screwing that shit back in the day. You can't forget about UGK.
Oh, no.
They were big. The Ghetto Boys, Rap a Lot, Scarface. They were big back in the game. And, like you said, they've always embraced the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
Whereas in LA, it's like, I hear a lot of stuff on that pod. It's a West Coast podcast. So they're always saying like, to the Mexicans, y'all are just a guest in hip hop. We started this. Mexicans are just a guest. They want to own it. Whereas over here in Texas, everybody's about getting money. You know what I mean? You'll have a lot of black. I mean, look at Paul Wall. He grew up. He was in with DJ Screw and them. None but black people.
Mm-hmm.
He's a white boy. You know what I mean? Same with Mexican OTs. He's doing a lot of shit with the old school. Paul Wall and all that. Houston people. You got. Some new guy, he's got a weird name, R&B Phonem or some shit. He did that song, Bitch, I'm from Texas, and it's got, I think Paul Wall's on it, and it's got just that Texas Houston feel to it. That's why I don't really like the raps because it's new shit, but
the style.
Yeah, I'll listen to it because it sounds like I'm listening to that old shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what the Mexicans here are paying homage to we all listened to that shit growing up. So they're paying homage to the people, to especially the Texas legends.
Houston area, I guess.
Yeah, mainly,
I think you have to.
That's where it all started. Dallas just trying to fit in.
When you come up from that area, I think you have to pay homage
You
to
have to,
all the people that came before you.
because they're the ones that got the respect for Texas. You know, where like you said in the West Coast, they're against each other.
And I think part of what B Real said, they want to categorize their rap. They want to be Chicano rap. They want to be Mexican rap. Which, okay, that's fine, but don't complain when that's what you're categorizing as, right? Versus, no, we're fucking hip hop.
Yeah.
You can go back to, like you said, East Coast, West Coast. Look at Fat Joe, Big Pun, all them.
Yeah, Puerto Rican.
They didn't say we're Puerto Rican rap.
Yeah,
they were fucking hip hop.
Yep.
You know, and they came up to the same shit. And I bet some of their raps, they say the N-word, but that's because that's where they were.
And that's one thing they criticize about Texas too. They'll be like, oh, Mexican OT did an interview and he said he's not Chicano rap. You know, you got to pay homage to that. And he's like, I didn't grow up with these motherfuckers. I grew up around, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a big difference. You know, it's crazy the comparison and the shit I hear on these podcasts about Texas and California. Yeah. You know what I mean? And for me, I just think, like I said, you know, they categorize themselves. They just, it's all about raza, Mexico,
which,
cholo, you know.
Which the raza thing, okay, I get it, right? But it's different, Texas versus California.
Yeah. And over here, we're proud of our heritage, but we're more like,
it's more than just that.
Over here, it's more just, hey, get money, hustling. Over there, it's more about the
history and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I get it, but you're stuck in a bubble then, right? Yeah. And I think just Texas is just totally different as far as that goes. You know, the way we dress, the way we talk.
Yeah.
Because you do have the raza part of it, but then you also have the country part of it. Then you also have the money part of it with the oil. Then you also, it's just all intertwined. You know what I mean? It's more than
because you know, Mexican OT probably could do a whole tour in California and get people there, and then you get one of them rappers over here. Like they got one dude, man. He's a clown, man. I don't know, you ever heard of Lefty Gunplay?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Nah, that fool. That's who's representing California for the Mexicans right now. So it's like, really? You know, and they compare him and Mexican OT. I'm like, man, this dude is...
Oh, there's no comparison.
I'm like, this dude's California famous. His neighborhood's famous. Mexican OT...
And just the way they talk, right? I mean, whatever, you know, when you see interviews with them, it's just like, I cut it off, you know. Yeah. I wanted to like Lefty, right? I did, but I don't.
He's whack as fuck.
Yeah, and it was funny because there's another podcast I watched. Chris put me onto this, so we found him at the same time or some Matan something. Maybe we'll pop him up. Tony will pop him up. But this fool was 19 years old. He started like 16, 17, whatever. And he gets these people on and he just trolls them. Like, he has this weird voice. He had Lefty on there. And I forgot what he was. Lefty got pissed off and just fucking left. But he was pretty much, and I've seen another interview about Lefty too. Like, they ask him basic questions he can't answer.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's always high or something.
Yeah, he'd be on that meth, man.
Yeah. But
he'd be acting weird. Like some people, they be calling him zesty butt play. They be clowning that fool because he'd be like, I don't know, that fool, he whack. I mean, if that's what's representing California right now, then that's
I just see, maybe, I think I listened to one or two of his songs, which they were okay. But the way he interviews, if you go to a concert and see that fool, like, I feel like he's gonna be all methed out or drugged up.
Not gonna get a good show.
Entertainment. Yeah. Not entertaining, you know?
You know, that's what, like, I think he came down and tried to fuck with Mexican OT, and he was like, I think OT was just like, nah, we're just not into that shit. Or said something basically on the drug use. Yeah, everybody smokes weed, but he on some other shit. You know what I mean? And I think he's seen as a liability. He got taken off some tours and shit, and he was all mad like, well, your liability.
I know there was some issue with him coming to Texas or something.
He got caught up with they got pulled over, man. Got caught, what do they call it? With some meth in the prison pouch up his butt at the hospital. He ended up stuffing some meth up his ass or some shit. I don't know. But that's what I say, your liability, you know, like OT. And then there's some group out there, I've heard of them, but I never listened to them. Shoreline Mafia, you ever heard of them? Mm-hmm. Well, there's some Mexicans too in California. That's what I'm saying. They're supposed to be big and you ain't even heard of them, but they be Cali famous. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, when I was in the Navy, I knew a lot of fools from LA and shit. And I just didn't like their music, right? And back then, I wasn't really listening to a lot of Houston stuff besides UGK. but I was a lot back then. I think Jay-Z and probably like Dre and them stuff like that. So I don't think we had a lot of big Texas rappers, but they were all really into like Chicano. So if I was to say, well, what about UGK? Oh, they're not Mexican type shit, right? Or if I was to say, what about fucking DOC with NWA? He's from Texas. He's from Dallas and shit or whatever. Oh, well, he's black, you know.
Yeah.
But that's what they liked.
Yeah.
But I was
But
like,
even at that, even the regular rap. I mean, I've never. Hey, let's throw on a Snoop Dogg album. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, Snoop Dogg's got some good songs, some classics, Dr. Dre, but I mean, we different down here. You know what I mean?
I think for me, like let's say I'm gonna work out in the morning and I need something, right? If I'm gonna put something on, to be honest, I think this week it was Wu-Tang, right? And that got me more. One week it was who was it? This week was Wu-Tang, then one week it would be fucking Too Short, or you know, when you think of Wu-Tang, they're from New York, but they're not New York East Coast rap. They're fucking Wu-Tang. Right?
Yeah.
Too Short is West Coast, but he's fucking Too Short. You know.
Yeah.
That's the kind of hip hop I like. I like Cypress, and they don't always just talk about California shit.
Yeah.
They talk about their own shit.
I mean, speaking of that, I saw that Too Short was doing a concert with Scarface.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that'd be a badass fucking concert to go to.
Old school, like Too Short and those guys, they came to Texas a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
With UGK.
So
there's a lot of old songs with Bun B and Pimp C, like underground shit with like Too Short. Who else? I forgot who else because I was watching something.
You can't forget about Outkast either. They're not from Texas, but they
Outkast too.
Yeah.
Back then, they fucked a lot with UGK in Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, yeah, I was like, damn, that'd be a badass fucking concert to go to. Scarface and Too Short, two different eras, but that's what I listened to all week. I was been listening to Scarface and Ghetto Boys this week. Of course, I always get Sade just calms me down. That's what I listened to on the way here. I was tired, didn't feel like hearing nothing real loud, so I threw on some fucking.
But if I'm gonna say West Coast, if I'm gonna do like, let's say I need a West Coast type of style, then it's Ice Cube all day, for me.
West Coast, I guess I would go with. It would just have to be Cypress Hill, man.
But they're not West Coast.
I'm just talking about from the West Coast, from the West Coast. Because I mean, Cube, I like Cube. He's got some jam. I mean, for sure. You know, love him in his movies. You know, Boys in the Hood, classic. You know, fucking Today Was a Good Day. You know, classic. But I don't think I'd sit down and listen to a whole Cube album. I don't think he's that good. You know what I mean?
I could like the Lethal Injection. I think.
You know, one I really liked was what he did with Dr. Dre. That America's what is it? Where they're sitting in a chair. Not America's Most Wanted. They did, what's that movie that Woody Harrelson did with that chick where they're fucking all crazy and killing people?
Oh, I know you're talking about, yeah.
Fuck. I can't remember, but he does it with Dr. Dre and, damn, what is that fucking movie called? But that one, but yeah, I wouldn't sit down and listen
for me,
to
like
Cube
West
album.
Coast, I would do Cube. East
Natural
Coast,
Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers.
There you go. He did with Dr. Dre. That one went hard.
East Coast for me would be Jay-Z. And if hip hop for me, what I consider hip hop is Cypress or Wu-Tang.
Actually, you know what? Let me take that back. I'd go Too Short. I can listen to a whole Too Short album. Too Short go hard. Mm-hmm. Too Short always reminds me of Ricky, our cousin.
Yeah.
East Coast, I would go with, man. Jay-Z's got some jams, but I've never really been a big fan. But he does have some.
I wasn't a big classics. Fan growing up.
He's got one with Scarface that I like a lot. Just Can't Be Life. But I probably would go with Cameron, Dipset, Jim Jones. They was doing it pretty big back then too. They was beefing with Jay-Z and you know what I mean? And yeah, I think I'd go with Cameron. I was jamming him the other day. Mm-hmm. I was like, damn, I forgot about that song.
Growing up, I didn't like a lot of East Coast rap. I just felt like the cadence of it, they were like more talking instead of like rapping type shit, especially Jay-Z. But then as I started getting into more different kind of music, I was like, okay, East Coast is
I just didn't like their lingo. The "What's up, son?"
yeah.
Yeah, you know the way they used to talk and shit. But I've always just been mostly down south. You know, I grew up with Houston shit. You know, Dallas never really came out with nothing. You know what I mean? They tried. You know, Mr. Pookie, Crook for Life, and all that shit. Outcast, UGK, shit like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Ghetto
UGK and
Boys.
Outkast I've always liked,
Yeah,
even back then. But I think like it was always Cypress Hill, Ice
yeah.
Cube until I started liking East Coast type stuff.
But there was a lot of shit that I listened to in high school. I think maybe you got it on, put me on, maybe not. But I don't even know who sang the fucking songs. Like, well, In Too Deep, Back to the Hotel.
Yeah,
That was the jam. Where they from?
they're from Vallejo, California, like up
California.
north. Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember that song. I used to go, "Give me what you got for a pork chop.
See
This is DJ Jimmy, and I won't stop."
those songs were like when I used to go to house parties
Then freak them down. The freak them down.
like Two Life Crew.
Yeah.
I've done them in the morning
The freak 'em
working out
down.
too. I've done the Two Life Crew, and maybe that's what I listen to this week.
Yeah, the
Two
freak
Life-
'em downs, man. Well, speaking of Chicano rap, I used to fuck with DJ Laz.
But he's
You know,
not Chicano
but,
rap.
I know, but I'm Mexican, not Chicano rap,
No,
Mexican.
but he's not. He's not that.
But
He's drum and bass.
yeah, but I'm just talking about Mexican period. But that's what you said was because of the bass mostly, and they had the freak 'em downs. You know what I mean?
So
But like,
he's Florida style.
yeah, you're right.
That's different than what's going on the West Coast. So that's what I've never liked Chicano rap. I respect what they're doing and what they stand for, whatever. But it just never was a Texas thing.
Yeah,
I think.
the Latin hip hop hit the scene for a little bit. The Little Suzies and all
that's
that shit.
different,
That was a
too.
Texas thing too, right?
I think that's both, maybe Southwest, maybe.
Okay.
But I think a lot of them were from New York.
Hmm.
So
But I don't remember like Cali. They don't talk about it. But you're from Texas and you bring up Lil Susie or something.
But they weren't saying, they weren't like, oh, I'm a Chicano girl.
No.
That's
I'm
what
just
I mean.
talking
They
about
were not saying
Mexican.
that.
Being Mexican in general. But yeah, man. For us down here, I mean, we weren't into that West Coast shit. There wasn't no Mexicans doing it, so we just listened to what the fuck we related to. You know what
It's
I mean?
kind of like same thing. That's their Cali thing, and Texas thing. You want to represent where you're from,
Yeah.
right? And maybe we just were not part of that cruising
Down the
on
street in our
Sundays.
on a
we
Sunday
weren't doing
afternoon.
that, we weren't doing that. We were,
Doing the same thing that the blacks was doing, trying to get it.
Yeah,
You know what I
something
mean?
like
So, over here, it's like I said, it's different. Over there they beef the black and the Mexicans. Over here, the black and the Mexicans, especially with rap, they
I mean, there's areas where they do beef or whatever, but
not because black and
a
Mexican.
lot of areas just like I said, at some point they intertwine together.
Yeah.
Like it's there are two different. It is somewhat separated. I don't know about it anymore, but it is somewhat separated until you get to a certain point.
Yeah, Texas is just different. You know what I mean? Just different coasts, different values, different music, different struggles. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Fuck Cali. No, I'll just play. But yeah, we just better down here in Texas. But there's been a lot of stuff I've been seeing. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah. Just keep it to instead of music, because you can't compare. I think you can't compare the music. Keep it to Whataburger, In-N-Out.
So what?
So just keep it to who's better, Whataburger, In-N-Out.
Oh,
just keep it to
Whataburger.
that versus what music is better.
I don't like In-N-Out. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad, but the burgers are small.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a Whataburger guy. You know what I mean? Which one do you prefer?
Of course, Whataburger, but In-N-Out's kind of getting to me now. I say it because when I was in the Navy and all these fools heard I was going to Cali, right?
Yeah.
All those because I was in Japan. Like In-N-Out, you gotta go to In-N-Out, In-N-Out, In-N-Out. So I finally tried it, and I was like, when you know Whataburger, right? And you go to In-N-Out, this fucking burger is small.
Yeah,
What do
Whataburger.
you mean you don't have anything else except 3 hamburgers?
I think I've been there twice.
And
man.
their fries suck.
Yeah. Let's ask Chris. Chris, you out there in Cali? Which one you prefer? Grew up in Texas,
I think Cali.
living life in Cali.
Chris was born in Cali, right? He grew up here. He's back over there.
Ain't coming back.
I don't think he's coming back.
I don't either.
So I think it's somewhat in his blood. So I'm gonna say
We'll see.
he doesn't like Whataburger burgers. He probably likes. I think he gets the chicken strip burger or the patty melt or some shit. But I think he's gonna prefer In-N-Out just because he's Cali.
I don't know. He's still Texas. What do you consider yourself, man? Cali or Texas boy? Let us know in the comments, Chris. That's gonna determine how I look at you moving forward, man. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, we're just better down here in Texas. We just
It's
different.
different. That's all.
I remember some people say I talk black. You know what I mean? I remember I worked at Drive Time and we had some customer. And I've been talking to him over the phone and shit, and he comes up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for Steven." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." He's like, "No, the other one, the black one."
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, that's me. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
and that's the difference between me and you too, right?
Yeah.
But I stayed, like I said, I think it was more the group I hung out with, and the girls that I liked didn't like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so I didn't get into all that other stuff. Like you and Jeremy talk similar.
Yeah.
But different than the way I talk.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't say the N word, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. I say it frequently. I just ain't saying it here because I don't want to offend any of our viewers. We've been stuck on 121. Let's move it at least to 125 subscribers. Come on, man. Hit them like buttons. Hit them comments. If you
the last ones that I looked at this morning, I think 95% of viewers are subscribers. So we need to somehow get some new ones, and maybe I told you the video I want to do, maybe that'll help. I know you don't want to do it, but it matches.
Matches what?
It matches.
What does it match?
Maybe y'all will see it later. It's that new, talking about Mexican rappers, right? She's a female.
Yeah, I've heard of her before.
And because of recently, I guess our algorithms, she's pro Mexican, she's pro anti-ICE or whatever. I don't get into political things of people, right?
Yeah.
But she's just popping up, and I never really listened to her music. She raps. She fucking raps good.
Yeah.
When she freestyles on the TikToks that I see, fuck, she can get down, right?
Yeah, I've seen her before.
And her rap is kind of like that. It's happy rap. So I don't really like it, but for a female, she can fucking rap, right? She got flow.
Yeah.
But she came out with this new song called Sábado, right? And the first part, it was funny because I was like, oh shit. The first part was
somebody here voted for Trump.
Yeah, but in Spanish.
Yeah.
Before we start the party, somebody voted for Trump. We're gonna figure it out. The envelope says who it is. It has a last name, but not the first name, right? But as you listen to the song, it's a song about a party, like a carne asada that a family has, and all the fucking drama that comes with it.
Yeah.
Right? But that's just one of the dramas that it is. Like somebody voted for Trump, fuck you type thing. Who was it? But then it's like talks about the aunt that her kids act bad. Talks about the cousin who thinks she's better than everybody.
Yeah.
And then there's one part where it's the fool that says the N-word, and the no sabo cousin. And it's a funny ass video when you watch.
Yeah, it was. But then when you sent it to me, I'm like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Like,
just the first part.
But what? Like both of us rapping?
No, like just maybe you can hold the guitar and
Okay, well that I'm down. I can hold it, but all that other shit, I can sit and play the fucking guitar.
It's becoming a thing like the last one we did, right? It's becoming a big, I guess, a meme.
Yeah. So. But I was just like, I didn't even respond. I was like, man, I don't know, whatever.
It's a happy rap song, but I think the meaning behind it, where it's fucking family drama. Like I told Cynthia last night, you should put on your page, because we were staying at home, right? And kind of like saying, this is why we stay home, because we don't want this fucking bullshit that goes on Sábado.
Yeah. And that's why when we do shit like with the cuz giving and the things, all that shit with Leslie and them, we contain it. To avoid that. But they're still going to have the people gossiping, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just natural, but to try, I mean, the people we know that, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's family's drama, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know if it's, family is drama. Fuck all that bullshit. You ain't got time for all that shit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you know how it is personally. You ain't got time for all that bullshit, you know, so. Just like, and shit gets started. Just like that one day we talked about it last week when what was it that Cynthia wasn't there and they're like, well, are they getting divorced?
Oh yeah, because we went to the.
I'm like, damn, I'm like, damn, cuz don't fucking get that shit started. You know what I mean? So, family, man, they always looking for the tea. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to stay away. It is what it is. But other than that, man, Got your birthday coming up too, man. What you got? What you got planned for that?
I mean, we were thinking about doing something, but I think we're gonna keep it low key. Just there's a pizza spot I want to go to. That's it. Go get some food and maybe she'll buy me a nice bottle of whiskey or something.
Well, let me know, man. Maybe we'll join. I'm thinking about taking that Tuesday and Wednesday off. I know it's on a Monday.
You'll be off Monday, right?
Yeah, I'll be off Monday.
We'll probably go eat on Monday. So I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know. I told Nanny to bring the baby over. We'll see. So maybe, and that's what I told him too. I said, man, let Theo JJ and them see the baby.
It's a spot. It's just I've been there once.
Unless you wanted just adults.
It was because the kids are gonna go. It's this pizza spot in Garland that the pizza review guy went to, and I was out there at one of the clinics, and so I hit it up by myself. It was good.
Yeah.
And they have a bar and everything. It's probably a nice little spot, and maybe we'll go there.
Yeah, let me know, man. We'll try to plan it out. So, other than that, man, getting ready for another week. As soon as I leave here, I'm gonna go change the oil in the car. Fucking take Stevie to the batting cages and shit, and then see what's popping. See what's going on. Relax.
Me probably just finish laundry, get some stuff, see what they want to eat this morning, and then store time after that.
All right. Well, other than that, man, that's all I got this week, huh?
That's it. We'll see if we do this video or not. I guess check it out. Like, subscribe, share it. Like Steven said, we're stuck on 121. Let's try to get to at least 130.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know,
at least 125, then we'll go 130. Let's just get off that 121.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I mean, make your mom subscribe. You know what I mean? Hey, Chris. You know, look, Big Chris. He been commenting a lot. I watched Below Deck too. By the way, that's a good one. Below Deck. That's good. I watched that too. Man, make your mom, your dad subscribe, man. You know what I mean?
I tricked this one guy real quick before to subscribe to our channel. He does money transfers at our store. He's an old man, and he has me call his wife in Mexico to give.
Oh yeah, you talking about this shit.
So I got on his phone. He had YouTube open. I was like, you know what? Real quick, he wasn't paying attention. I logged in real quick, subscribe.
So fuck it, bro. Yeah.
What's his name? Cristiano Bautista. What's up? If you ever watch him, you were like, man, what's this fool doing on my YouTube channel? That's what happened.
Hell yeah. So let's get off that 121, man. Let's get it. Let's get to at least 125, 150 by JJ's birthday. Fuck it. Let's do it.
That'll be cool. That's a good 150 by September 1st.
But you gotta share it and tell them to subscribe. Let's go. Let's
share, subscribe. Just put it out there. There's my cousins talking shit or whatever. Just help them out. That's all we ask.
And shout out to Nikki, man. Happy 18th birthday, nephew.
And we'll see y'all next week.
Yep. Later. Holla.